Hello, next class, back to normal this time, about an hour lie down Pilates class. So grab your mat, grab your cushion, grab your towel, anything you want to. I'll just set the time for about an hour. As always, just check you've got enough space around you. There's nobody going to come and open the door on you. You're not going to hit anything. And we'll get going. So, lying down on your back, on your mat. Block underneath your head or cushion underneath your head if you want to. Get yourself comfortable. Relax the shoulders. Just check you can see me. Yeah, I think you can. Check the shoulders, relax, fidget around until you feel comfortable, and just give yourself a minute or two. You can have your legs bent or straight, whichever suits you better. And breathe. And I want you to feel your ribs just gently moving in and out as you breathe. Maybe start to feel your belly fill up with air. You can count your breath if you want to. Count how long it takes you to breathe in. Hold it for a second or two, and then how long it takes you to breathe out. And they want to be about the same, or the out breath slightly longer. So hopefully you can start to feel your body just relaxing and maybe resetting. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're going to turn your head from side to side. If you feel any tightness around the shoulders, just reset them. And close your eyes if you want to for this one. Still keep that nice steady breathing pattern. And then hold your head over to one side for a few seconds. Maybe the time it takes you to breathe in and breathe out, and then come back. One more. Okay, and then bring your head back to centre, reset head, shoulders and hips until you feel comfortable, and then we're going to start on the arms. So just bend your arm, rest your hand lightly on your shoulder if that feels comfortable, and then circle the elbow around, just loosening up around that shoulder joint. Reverse your circle. And if that feels alright, still staying on the same arm, go into your big circle. If it suddenly feels tight and creaky, then go back to the bent arm. You can always have another go after a couple of reps. But if you are doing the big arm circle, you're trying to get a bigger range of motion out of that shoulder. Keep the ribs down, so a little squeeze of the abdominal muscles to stop the rib cage lifting. And a little bit bigger movement in that arm. One more and then we'll change direction. So still working on the same arm, just trying to get more movement in that shoulder joint. Check you're not pressing back on your head. And then we'll give that arm a rest and we'll move to the other one. So again, bent arm to start with and circle round. Just a little squeeze of the centre. All we're looking to do is stop the rib cage coming with us. And reverse your circle. And again, if that feels ready for a bit more work, into the straight arm. You always change your mind. If you do one, you think, oh no, it's still a bit tight, you can always go back to the bent arm. But you're going to need to squeeze those centre muscles a little bit tighter to stop the rib cage lifting, because we want to isolate into this shoulder. And try and just gradually increase your reach. Go a bit further on each one, just a little bit. And then reverse. And then we can do both arms together if you want. So you bring both arms up. As they come back, squeeze the ribs down your body. And you'll get a little stretch across the top of the shoulders as well. And then around. Just check on this one that you're not pushing back onto your head or hunching into your shoulders. And just start to feel that nice lengthen down the front of the body as your arms travel back. Helps just straighten you out a bit if you've been hunched over those Christmas cards or those mince pies. One more. And on your next circle, just take your arms back and just lace your fingers together and just rest them underneath your head. Remember, if this doesn't suit your shoulders, arms out to the sideline still is your other option. If you've got your hands underneath your head, just fidget your shoulders and your head, feel comfy. And just check before you start moving where they are today. Are they a bit tight? Is one tighter than the other? And then you're going to move. So you're going to bring your elbows in and out. And just that little squeeze of the shoulder blades together as your elbows travel out. So we're building up that mobility around the shoulders so they're not locked into shape. Now, when you feel comfortable, you might need to do a few reps. When you feel looser in this move, when you take your elbows out to the floor, stay there for that breath in and out. So nice deep breath in. Hold it for a couple of seconds. And an equally long breath out, if not a bit longer. And then bring the elbows in. And have another go. Take them out, breathe in deep. Breathe out just as deep. And bring them back in. I'll focus a little bit more on breathing today. I tend to just focus more on the exercises because the breathing can get a bit distracting, but I think this time of year we're all a bit tense, so the breathing might help. But if I forget to mention the breathing, I just want you to carry on doing it. Don't wait for me to tell you to breathe in because I might forget. It's too much of a responsibility telling you when to breathe in and out. I'll do one more. Then you take your hands from underneath your head and put your elbows on the floor, quite wide out, so you've got that sort of 90-degree angle at your armpit there, and your fingertips facing up. And then you're just pivoting on the elbows, so your hands move back and forward. When you bring your hands forward, try not to hunch the shoulder. It's just that little wave backwards and forwards, so you mobilise inside the shoulders. If you prefer, you can do one arm at a time. Moving in and out of this move. You'll find one direction easier for you. You might find one arm moves further than the other one. But hopefully you're gradually all finding that the move's getting easier. You might even be getting a little bit more movement. One more. Lovely. And then you take your arms out to the side, palms facing up, and have your thumbs about level-ish with the top of your shoulders. What I want you to avoid is going too high with those arms because you'll just tense your neck. Shoulders relaxed. Knees together, feet together. Fidget around till you find your comfortable spot, and then you're going to twist from side to side with the legs, but keeping the shoulders flat to the floor. Remember, if you want to, you can turn your head and look away from your knees. But I want you to keep the shoulder muscles quite relaxed because we've just worked on loosening them up. We don't want to tense them again. Now, again, you might do a few more reps yet, but when you feel comfortable in this move, you can stay with your legs over to one side a little bit longer. Do that breath in and out again, and during that breath this time you can have that one leg straight if you want. So little twist, straighten the top leg, nice deep breath in and breathe into where you feel that stretch. Hold it in for a few seconds and then let it out all the way and feel your body relax as you let the breath out. And then bend the leg, come back, same on the other side. So twist, straighten the leg, breathe in deep. Hold it for a few seconds, I don't want it to go dizzy, and then let it out and let your body go heavy with that out breath. Come back, change sides, do it again. Over, straighten, deep breath in, deep breath out. One more, over, straighten, breath in, breath out. Lovely. Come back to centre and we'll do a little bit of work for the front of the legs and a bit of a stretch for the back of the leg. So to start with, have your feet about hip distance apart now. Relax the shoulders. And I want you to imagine two parallel lines that your feet are lying on. So you can imagine railway lines if you want. So you're going to straighten your leg along the floor. Once it's straight, pull your toes towards your knee. And then relax your ankle and slide your foot back along the same line. Same on the other leg, so slide it out, pull the toes towards the knee, relax the ankle and slide it in. I'm just going to repeat this a few times, but I want you to really focus on keeping the pelvis still. So zip up from underneath a little bit for this one and pull the front abdominals in slightly. So when you're moving the leg, the pelvis stays still, which will get you to use your hip, knee and ankle joints properly. Check the shoulders aren't tensing. Start to stretch out along your mat a little bit now. Okay, on the next one, if you can, straighten the leg like you just did. Pull the toes towards the knee. Press down a little bit in the bent leg and lift this straight leg off the floor. No higher than the other knee. Doesn't have to be that high, but no higher. Back to the floor, slide back in. Still following your lines on the in and out. So follow that line. Press a little bit through the bent leg, pull the straight leg up, no higher than the knee, down, sliding back along your line. Keep this pelvis as still as you can. And that's, hopefully you can feel the front thigh muscles working, and when the front thigh muscles contract, the back thigh muscles get a bit of a stretch, so you might feel that down towards your knee at the back. It's a good hamstring stretch as well as a quad strengthener. One more off each side. So straighten, little press on the other leg, pull this straight leg up and down. Check your feet haven't drifted from position, still following those lines. Other leg, press into your bent leg, lift, down and in. Good. Okay, then we're going to do a stretch for a bit more of a stretch for the back of the leg and start to get into the lower lat back a little bit. So I want you to straighten your right leg along the floor and just gently press down into your calf. Keep a straight line down your front. Lift your left foot off the floor and let the thighs come towards you. And when you can reach comfortably, your hands can go around the back of the knee just for support. So just let your leg rest against your hands. Relax the shoulders. And while you're here, circle your foot. So this is just loosening the lower back, glute, hamstrings and ankle. Circle your foot a few times, then put your left foot back to the floor and slide it back out, slide your right in. Don't get worried about how far that knee comes in. If you pull it in too far, then all you do is pull the straight leg off the floor, so you're not getting much of a stretch. Just let it come in as far as it wants. And all your hands are doing is giving your legs something to rest against. So keep that straight leg straight out along the floor. Forgot which way my foot was going then. And then change, so slide out, still following your lines. Bring this foot in and up. Let your leg rest against your hands as you circle your foot. Nice stretch if you've got a very tight lower back, this one. One more of each side. And you'll find the knee gradually comes in closer as you loosen up anyway, you haven't got to worry about it. And then if you're okay with your leg in this position, you can bring the other leg up as well. You bring both feet off the floor. If this doesn't suit you, keep your feet on the floor and do a little rock into that lower back instead. Otherwise, if you're happy with your feet off the floor, again, just let your legs sit against your hands. You're not yanking those legs in. They're just coming to where you feel comfortable. Relax your shoulders and have your feet a little bit wider apart and your knees. So you're going to get a little bit of stretch on the inner thigh. We're coming to happy baby. I'll just give you that warning to relax the shoulders. If this is as much as you want to do, then stay here. If you're a bit of a grumpy baby today and you want to stay with your feet down, then do so. Otherwise, lift your feet up a bit. You might need to do a little bit of a tilt back in the pelvis, so you're flattening more of your back into the floor so you can reach your toes. Relax your shoulders. And just let the weight of the legs sink down into the mat. Breathe. You might tilt your pelvis back a little bit more, so it's like you're sticking your tailbone up to the ceiling. Relax the shoulders. If you're not happy holding your feet, hold the back of your legs. If you're not happy here at all, put your feet on the floor and bring the soles of the feet together. Lots of different options to stretch the different parts. Well, same parts really, just different stretches. I'm going to give you a little bit more stretch for the lower back from here if you want it. So you bring your feet back together again. Just let your hands sit against the back of your legs again for something to support the weight of the legs, and then you stretch your foot up to the ceiling. So you're straightening your knee. If you're not comfortable doing this, then that slide along the floor that we did before, you can go back to that one. Don't worry if your knee doesn't fully straighten. Just want you to feel that stretch on the back of the leg. Because if your hamstrings are tight, it's going to pull up into the lower back as well. And then if you want, you bring the legs a little bit closer together and do both together. Again, those hands are at the back of the legs just to support the weight of the legs, so they've got something to press against for support. If you don't want that support, take your hands away and kick up without the hands there. And you can stay there for a few seconds if you want to. Very good for your circulation, this. Drains all that fluid that builds up when we're sitting down and standing up back into the circulatory system. So it stops you having puffy ankles. A couple more. You can always use a wall for this one if you want to. Rest your legs against the wall. Best stretch in the whole world as far as I'm concerned, that is. And then put your feet down and stretch out. So we're feeling a bit looser now, hopefully. Breathe in, slow down a little bit, brains relaxed. Okay, we're going to stay on the floor to do our strength work. If you want to sit up first and grab a quick drink, then do, because I'm with it. So you'll only be waiting for me anyway. Okay, so remember, lying down now, our focus changes to more about stability. Rather than loosening the body, we're thinking about finding our stability now. So if it helps you, imagine that float that you're lying on, that we've got to keep it level, that we're not going to tip into the water. So if that's an image that works for you, great, use it, it's going to help. If it doesn't, then basically all I need you to do is think about where your weight sits. Shoulder, head, shoulders, hips, spine, and just feel where your weight sits and try and keep it level. So relax the neck and shoulders, and we'll start with our marching. So you've got your feet about hip distance apart, toes facing forward. Lengthened and zipped to hold you in shape, and then you take your right foot just an inch or two off the floor. Hold it for a few seconds and put it back, and the left foot. And this move is all about finding that strength, that you've got enough of it switched on that your body's not collapsing and dropping about as you move your feet. So level across the hips, level across the shoulders, weight evenly distributed as you just lift your foot off the floor. It's like if you first try to stand on one leg, you don't lift your foot a long way because you're not sure it's going to work. So it's just getting that strength, getting that balance sorted out. And any of the moves that we do supine that are too much for you, come back to this. Because the better you get at this move, the better you'll be at the harder moves later when you're ready for them. So just checking as you go from foot to foot that you're not pushing down, because if we were lying on water and we push down, we'd end up with our face under the water. So we're keeping our weight really level, distributing it evenly around the body, zipped up enough to keep the pelvis still, shoulders down to keep the torso still. Okay, quick stretch of the legs and then we'll move on to knee fold. So we'll start with level 1 knee fold and then we'll move up to level 2. Bossy, aren't I? Relax the shoulders. So you're going to lift that right foot like you just did, but carry on up until you've got your 90 degrees. Still got a comfortable arch in your back, still got a straight line down your front. And you're going to hold it now for 5 seconds. So we're going to use the front thigh muscles to keep that leg lifted. When you've counted to 5, back down. And this is the balance bit. So when that foot goes down and the other foot comes up, we've got to keep this float balance. So our weight across the pelvis stays exactly the same. And we hold that leg up for 5 seconds. So even if you've got enough strength to always come to double knee fold, it's worth doing a few single knee folds just to get that side strength. So as we put the one foot down, we distribute our weight evenly so we can lift the other foot up and there's no rocking around in this lower back. Okay, we're going to do one more off each side. Are you remembering your breathing? Last one, up. So using this hip joint to pull the leg up, using these thigh muscles for the movement. And then we can come to double knee fold. So another quick stretch, loosen the hips, and then to double knee fold. If you don't want to do double knee fold, you can go back to the marching, or you can go back to the single knee fold. But the double one leg up. And for this one, for me, that knee has to come in a bit closer. So you can do the same if you want, just a slight tilt back on the pelvis if it suits your back better. And then you float the other leg up. Now legs are parallel, so more leg strength needed now, more abdominal strength to support the weight of these legs. Relax the shoulders, counting to 5 if you can, and then feet down one at a time. I don't mean do you know how to count to 1 to 5, I mean can you hold the position? Oh, I could count to 5, Sharon, I'm alright. One leg up, bring the knee a little bit closer, bring the other leg up. And what I'm looking for here, when I watch you do this one, it's the shape of your belly I'm looking at. So I'll come back down and do that again. So when the one leg goes up, when the other leg goes up, if your belly pops out, then these front abdominals have just switched off. You might find that all you need to do is bring the knee a smidge closer in and they'll stay tight. And remember, we're still balanced on that float. So we're still putting our weight down carefully so we don't tip ourselves off. So one leg up, in a little bit more if you want, other leg up. And the shape of your front of your body stays exactly the same. And down. Last one. Float. Lovely. Okay, quick stretch again. Full body stretch if you want. And then we're going to do our single leg kick. I like putting this one afterwards because it's quite a challenge. So we'll do single and then we'll go into double. So single again, knees bent, float the right leg up, float the arm up this time, so fingers over shoulders. Square the shoulders, square the hips. When you're ready, stretch the leg out until the thighs are parallel, the knees are about level, pull the arm back. Ribs are level on both sides, shoulder down. Now use these muscles to hold these arm and leg off the floor, don't hang. Then back in, and down. Balance as the foot and the arm go to the floor and the other lifts. So up, out. Use your arm and leg muscles to hold these limbs off the floor. Push down a little bit in your other foot if you wanted to help. In and down. And think about that transfer from right to left. Again. Thigh muscles are working hard. All the upper back and arm muscles are working hard. In. Last one. Up. Out. In. Again, repeat that if you want to. That's level 1, or come to level 2 if you can and you want to. It's not always the same thing. So double knee fold, slight pelvic tilt if it suits you. Both arms up, shoulders relaxed. Opposite arm and leg move out again. Pull your toes towards your knee this time. Really get these thigh muscles working. Retract the shoulder down your back. Hold it for a few seconds. Back in. Change sides. Now you've got to watch 4 limbs now. You've got to focus on 4 limbs, not just 2. Because the 2 that are staying still have got to still stay in shape. You've got to watch that foot doesn't drop to your bum. Abdominals must be working a bit harder now because they're supporting 4 limbs. So check your shoulders. If you're feeling it in your lower back, you might be better on level 1. So go back down a level. Or you might need to rest. Out. Shoulders, ribs, hips, give them all a quick scan. Check they're where they should be. Can we do one more of each side? Of course we can. Don't know why I asked. Out. Squeeze that centre. Drop the shoulder down. Back in. Last time. Extend the arm and leg. Don't hang. Contract the muscles. In and down. Well done. Quick stretch if you want, and then hip lift. So we're going to stretch all the front of the body that we just worked hard and give the back a bit of a work. If you've got cushions underneath your head, take it away now. Have your heel directly underneath your knee and your knees facing forward. Relax the shoulders. When you're ready, you're going to press into your shoulders and your feet about the same amount so that you can lift your backside off the floor. Up and down. Now your first few, if like me, you're always a bit tight in the hips when you first start this move. The first few are just loosening up. So we're just trying to get that stretch in the front of that hip there. So you're not going to stay up for very long. Just up and down, just feel that start to give. When it feels easier for you and you're able to come up to your full bridge, ideally, straight line from knee, hip and shoulder, you can stay there. Get your weight distributed evenly between your feet and your shoulders. Float your arms up and back. And you might find when your arms go back, you can actually lift your hips a little bit higher. Arms back up to the ceiling and push down with your arms as you lower your backside back to the floor. You might need to reset. You don't want your feet too far away from you. So up, knees face forward, weight into the centre of the feet, then float the arms back. You might find you've got that little bit extra lift now. Back to the ceiling with the arms and down with the body. I know some people get lower back issues with this. You just got to watch that you don't let your pelvis tilt before you go up. So press into your feet and your shoulders the same amount to give you that grounding so you can just go straight up with your bum. And then back with your arms. Up to the ceiling and down. I'm going to add on that little ab curl if you want it. If you've got any osteoporosis or slip disc, osteoporosis, definitely don't do it. Slip disc, it's what, if it feels wrong, don't do it. But otherwise, you're going to come up to your bridge, you're going to float your arms back, bring your hands back up to the ceiling and leave them there as you put your backside to the floor, and then squeeze your belly and bring your head and shoulders off the floor and point forward with your arms. Place your spine back to the floor and put your arms back to the floor. So I'll go through it again. You lift up to your bridge like you did before. Arms come back. And this is where it changes. Your arms come back up to the ceiling and you put your bum back to the floor and then you curl over. And you're squeezing the centre, stretching out your lower back. And back to the floor again. You might need to keep moving about on this one. You tend to slide along your mat a little bit with that option. So you've got a slidey mat. But I want you to use these front abdominal muscles. Squeeze your ribs to your hips to pull you up. It's not from the neck. And roll back down again. One more. Go up. Arms back. Lift those hips up. So use your bum muscles. Bring your arms up back to the ceiling and put your bum down. And then squeeze your ribs to your hips. Contract these front abdominals and curl over. And back down and have a nice little stretch out. Good. And we're going to use that curl up motion to sit up now. If you prefer, roll onto one side, but otherwise put your hands on the floor, lift your head and shoulders, use your abs, and then when your head and shoulders are off the floor, push down with your arms and bring yourself up to sitting. Good. Okay. Now remember, it's sitting, I need you to have a straight back. We're not in a rounded C shape. So if that means you need to sit on a block, maybe fold your legs in, whatever gets you into the right sitting position. It's almost like you're trying to stick your tailbone out. If it tucks underneath you, then you're going to round your back. Okay. Put one hand behind you and your thumbs are lined up with your spine, so quite a way back, and then you're going to turn in that direction. The other arm can just drape across your lap. Nice twist for the back and come back. Change sides, so reach back with the other hand, start to move in that direction. Try not to pull on your leg as this arm drapes across your lap. Try not to pull because you'll feel that pull into your lower back. But I want you to use your back muscles here. I want you to imagine that you're sat on the bottom of the swimming pool now with your head just out of the water. And as you turn, you've got to use your back muscles to keep you up. I want you to drop your face into that water. So just go in and really starting to use across your upper back now. Really important part of your posture across the shoulders. So hopefully you can feel that nice stretch in the centre. And we can use our breathing again. So next time you turn, hand behind you, other one draped across, head out of the water. Breathe in. Feel that stretch as you breathe. Hold it for a few seconds and breathe out, but don't drop as you breathe out. And change sides. So hand behind you, turn, breathe in deep into your stretch. And breathe out when you're ready. You haven't got to follow my timing, which is really why I don't set a breathing pattern, because I breathe different to how you breathe and everybody else breathes. We all have our own breathing pattern. So full breath in for you, hold for as long as feels right for you, and full breath out for you. It's all about you. It's all about me really, I'm just trying to be nice. One more. Okay, so that's got some rotation. Now we want forward and back. So with your knees bent, you're going to let your body drape forward, and we want to make that C shape. So there's a little stretch from the tailbone all the way up. That back just start to relax, and then pull yourself up straight. And you've got two options here. You can either put your hands behind you and arch your back, or take your arms out to the side and arch your back. So whichever works for you. And then you're going to come forward again. So you're bringing your body. Any sciatica, you've got to watch that you don't come far enough forward to pinch into that sciatic nerve. So any pinching, bring your knees a little bit closer and just reduce the stretch. But you're going over and lifting the weight out of the lower spine. Relaxing the neck. And then pulling yourself up. Stacking your spine, using your back muscles to hold you up. And then either out with the arms or back with the arms, whichever suits you. I'm going to stick with the arms going out myself. So forward again. and pull yourself up. Be aware of using the muscles in your back to pull you up and hold you up there. And then out with the arms, or back with the arms. Helps you reset the spine and get a good posture for sitting. All right, this time when we come forward, we're going to stay there and we're going to breathe into your back now. And then pull yourself up. And take your arms out. Good. So again, I'm going to do another couple where we stay in this forward where flex a little bit longer and breathe into your back. And pull yourself up. So we're trying to get that flexibility in the spine and the hamstrings. Last one. Coming forward. You might even be able to have your legs a little bit further out and still come forward now if you've just increased your reach. Pull yourself up and out with the arms. Now we're going to focus on our chest stretching. So hands behind you and just rest on your fingertips if you can, so that you're not encouraged to push too much with your arms. So they're just behind you, just to give you a bit of support. I like to pull your shoulders back and I like to arch your back. So press your chest out. And release. So you're pulling your shoulders back and trying to arch your upper back. Pulling your shoulder blades together and down. Good. And release. We spend a lot of time in this shape with our upper back flexed. So we need to arch it and stretch it the other way. Squeeze your elbows together as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. And we can do that breathing again. Oh, you are going to be so oxygenated when we leave here. You'll float off the floor. I'm not even sure that's a word, but never mind. So pull your shoulders back and down. Lift your chest. Squeeze your elbows together. And breathe deep. And you'll feel that stretch across your front. Relax. You do a couple more of those. So you're going to pull back and down and breathe deep. And arching that upper back. One more. Okay. Now you can stay with what we've just done. So we've done a bit of twisting, a bit of forward and opening out, a bit of chest stretching. The next option is leg pull front, which is that tough one. I'll remind you, basically you make a table so we come up to that shape. So if it's not suitable for you, you stay and repeat what we've done so far, or have a rest and watch me, I don't mind. If you're going to do it, have your feet flat on the floor, toes pointing forward, hands closer than they were before, so underneath your shoulders and wherever they feel that they support you. Pull your shoulders back and down and press your chest out. And then when you're ready, push into the heels of your hands and the heels of your feet at the same time and lift up. And you're trying to make a table. So you're pushing from underneath. And back down. Check when you come back down that you haven't scooted towards your feet, because that will be too much work for your shoulder. So shoulders back and down. Chest lifted, press into the heels and up. And think about straightening out. The knees about hip distance apart and facing forward, pushing down through the floor with your hands and your feet and lifting yourself up and back down. Yes, you're going to feel it in your arms. If you feel it in the back of your arms, great. If you feel it in your shoulders, you might need to change your arm position. If you can't get a straight line, try it with one leg straight. That just releases your hips and it might help you. Try that instead if you prefer. Just changing legs whenever you fancy. I'm staying with this one because I want you to think about stretching the front of your body. So lift yourself up, press down through the floor, lift your hips. You should feel your bum muscles working. We're going to do two more, if you can. So shoulders back, chest lifted, press down through the floor and uncurl. Shoulders back, push the front of your body up to the ceiling. And down. Reset if you need to. It's the last one you've got to be careful of because you just think, oh, I know what I'm doing there, and wham, injury. So pull back and up. Press through the floor. Good job. Straighten your legs out a bit. Come forward into that nice stretch. Okay, we're going to do some work lying on our front now. So move your cushion to where you want it. Scoot yourself down, round, and bring yourself down onto your front. Arms are down by your sides. Cushion can be under your forehead if you want to. First thing I need you to do, once you're comfortable, is to pull your belly button towards your spine a little bit and tense your leg muscles. Like you're trying to pull your knee away from the floor, knees. And the first job is to retract the shoulders. So all I want you to do is pull your shoulder blades together. And just stretch your body a little bit. And back down. So to bring the shoulder blades together, it's like you're trying to bring your elbows in to meet at the middle. Pull back. Hold it for a few seconds. And release. And I want you to be able to feel the back of the arms working. So it's not lifting your arms up. It's pulling back. Pulling your shoulders together. Now, as you pull your shoulders together this time, I want you to just stretch your body a little bit. Suck your belly in. Tense your legs. And use your upper back muscles just to lift the pressure off your chest. So you just come up a smidge. And back down. All the way to the floor, relax. Pull your shoulder and your elbows together. Stretch your body. Tense your legs. Use your upper back muscles just to lift the pressure off your chest. And back down. It's tempting on this one, and I see it a lot. People trying to come up really high. The problem with that is the upper back is not doing it, the lower back is. So when you pull your shoulders together and stretch, I want you to think about working across your shoulders. That's where the work's coming from. So any higher, if you feel it in your lower back, you've come up too much. Back down a smidge. Good. Couple more, tense the legs, tuck the belly in, retract the shoulders, pull the elbows together. Use your upper back and just lift yourself slightly. Now see if you can hold it for a few seconds now. For that breath maybe. Breath in and breath out. We'll do a couple more of that. That's good, that is. So pull back, stretch, lift, tense the legs. Squeeze the bum a little bit now. Hold that shape. Breathe in. And breathe out. And down. Remember, it's your timing of your breath, not mine. Don't wait for me to say breathe out. I might forget. Together, stretch and lift. Breath in. Breath out. And back to the floor. That's really going to help your upper body posture, that one. Okay, arms out in front when you're ready. Just a comfortable distance. Bend your elbows slightly. We're going to do a nice back stretch now. So bend your elbows a little bit so your hands are a little bit closer in front of you. And then use those upper back muscles again to start to lift you. And then when they need to, your arms give you a bit of support. So pull yourself up and put yourself down. Don't let the arms do all the work. So start with your back. Pull yourself away from the floor. And then your elbows start to leave the floor and your arms give you that bit of a prop. Now, if that feels okay, it depends on how tight your back's feeling. If that's as much stretch as you want, stay with it. If it isn't, bring your hands a little bit closer, so bend your elbows a little bit more. Then use your back muscles to lift you up. Your elbows leave the floor, and as your arms prop you up, you come up a bit higher. But your hips must stay down on the floor. And back down again. Really use your back muscles to lift you, not your arms. Your arms are there for support. So relax your shoulders down, tense your legs, that will help. You'll find yourself a bit higher with your legs tight, like trying to pull your knees away from the floor. Back down. Stay as long as feels right for you. Pull up, tense the legs, relax the shoulders. Pressure on your arms, it's almost that you could take your arms off the floor if you needed to. You can't, but it feels like you could. There's very little pressure through the arms. It's all coming from the back. And down. I'm going to do one more. So you use your back muscles to lift, tense the legs. I feel like I could lift my arms if I wanted to. I just choose not to. Nice back stretch. And then back to the floor. Right, now we're going to do some strength. We're going to get ourselves off the floor. What I want you to do is put your elbows on the floor a little bit further back than your shoulders, because you're going to lift yourself up. So get yourself comfy. When you're ready, you're going to push down onto your hands, tighten your belly and lift your hips up until they're about level with the back of your shoulders. So you come to a low plank. And then back to the floor. So you come back to that slight tilt. So I'll do it again. So you've got your shoulders down, hands, elbows just slightly back from the shoulders. You're going to suck your belly in and push your hips up. Looking down at the floor, comfortable, neutral neck. Hold it for a few seconds and down. Try not to push into your elbows and your knees because they'll just get sore. So you're using these centre muscles around your hips and your bum to pull you up. If somebody's grabbed your waistband and lifting you. Suck your belly away from the floor when you're up here. Don't let your lower back take the weight. And back down. So I'll stay there a little bit longer that time. Did you notice? Yes. So look down at the floor, pull your belly in and lift your hips. So you come into a low 3/4 plank. Now if this feels okay, you might need to adjust your arms a little bit, but if you feel okay up in this plank, tuck your toes, straighten your right leg so your knee leaves the floor, straighten your left leg so your knee leaves the floor. So full low plank. Hold it for a second or two, put your knees back to the floor, put your belly back to the floor, go back into that lower back stretch. Do it again. Look down at the floor, suck your belly in and lift your hips till they're about level with the back of your shoulders. Tuck your toes, straighten your right leg, straighten your left leg, lengthen that spine, knees down, hips down, look forward again. One more, it's tough on this one. Just mind you don't push into your elbows or your knees. So look down, suck the belly in, lift the hips, line them up with the back of your shoulders, tuck your toes, straighten and lengthen through your right leg, same with the left leg. Stretch that spine, don't hunch. Knees down, hips down, look forward. Well done. Up onto your hands and your knees now. And if it suits you, sit back into child's pose. If it doesn't suit you, you can sit on your bum and go into that forward stretch that we did earlier. Have your knees a bit wider apart and bring your big toes together. Arms out in front. And trying to just sink your chest down to the floor. I'm going to give you a little twist stretch now if you want it for threading the needle. If it doesn't suit you, as always, just leave it out. But if you want to, take your right hand off the floor and just slide it underneath where your left armpit is. So you're reaching through. So you're having a little look underneath your left arm. Yeah. And then come back and change arms. So then you reach through your left arm and have a little look under your right arm. It's to get that lower back stretch. And just going from side to side. Taking your time, staying there for your breath in and out when it feels right for you. Relax your neck. Soften your elbows. You don't have to lock your arms out. Just going from side to side, just reaching through, having a look under your arm. I'll do one more each side. Okay, and then you can just maybe creep your hands a little bit further forward. Relax your shoulders though and your neck. And then we're going to come up onto the hands and knees. Doing for time. Oh, we're doing fine for time today. Hands underneath the shoulders, and you're just going to move around in your little circle. Loosen the hips. Bit of weight on the hands, so getting the hands ready because they're going to have to do a little bit more work in a minute, those wrists are, so getting them warmed up. Moving around. Okay, now we're going to do our knee hovers. Remember, if you've got any issues with your wrists not wanting to or can't take the weight, down onto your forearms is absolutely fine. It's still going to work your shoulders and still your upper back, which is what we're looking for. But otherwise, hands underneath the shoulders. You can tuck your toes under if you want to, but you're not going to use your feet too much. So that's up to you whether you have them flat or tucked. You're going to push down into your hands until you feel the weight build up in your shoulders and reduce in your legs, so you can lift your knees about 1 inch off the floor and back down. So your first couple, we're just getting used to the work. Try not to round into your shoulders as you do it. So wide across your shoulders, zipped in the centre, pushing down into your hands until you can feel the weight build in your upper body and reduce in your lower body so you can lift your knees. Hold it for a second or two and down. So again, I'm imagining, it's never going to happen, but I'm imagining as I take all the weight into my shoulders, I could, if I wanted, I don't, lift my feet off the floor. That's what I want to be thinking about, that the weight is building in your upper body and reducing in the lower body, so that you could actually, if you chose at any point in the future, lift your feet off the floor. We'll leave that to the yoga lot. Good. Then you start to hold it for a few seconds if you can. So relax the shoulders, lengthen the spine. I feel a bit bunched in on myself. I'm going to go a bit longer. So when you're ready, you're going to push down, lift the knees and hold it for about 5 seconds. Might be the time it takes you for that breath in and out. And down. So you're aware that you're using this upper body a lot more now. Core strength, because you're keeping the shape. Lift up. Hold it for your 5 seconds. And down. You're going to be building warmth now. You're going to feel yourself getting warm. That's good. And again, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Have a sit back. Well done. That's worked your arms. Sit back. I'm going to give you a build on that one if you want it. Again, they're all options, but what we're going to do next is tuck the toes. So when we lift the knees, we stay there for a second or two, and then we keep lifting until the legs straighten. Now, no rounding your back. Push your hips up and bring your chest in. And then we'll go back to the knee hovers. Okay? So hands underneath the shoulders. Relax the shoulders down. Press into your hands. Lift your knees a little bit. And then we're going to lift the hips up. Looking back. Shoulders down, bum in the air. Back nice and straight. Back to that knee hovers. If you need to put your knees down on the floor and rest, then do so. But knee hovers if you can. Hold it for a few seconds. Push up. Don't worry about your feet touching the floor. I want you to have nice straight legs and a nice straight spine. So you're bringing your torso in towards your knees, pushing your hips high. Back down, hovering or putting the knees back to the floor if you need to. Nice stretch for the feet. Back up. Lift those hips. Draw your torso in. Push your hands away at this stage. So you're getting that stretch, that activation in your arms. Hover. Actually, the hover feels the easy bit now, isn't it? Or I just gone numb, I can't tell. One more. Push up. And back to that hover. Lovely. Put your knees down. Have a nice stretch. So child's pose if it suits you. Cat and cow if you prefer for a bit of a change. We'll sit on your bum and do the stretches we did before. Good. If you're doing cat and cow, remember I haven't instructed this one, so I'll just remind you of it. You pull your belly button to your spine, tuck your tailbone down and round your back. Push down into your hands. Level out. Pull your shoulders back, press your chest forward between your arms, arch your back all the way down. And level up. We're going to do one more of those. Feels nice today. Tuck under, press into your hands, round your spine, make a nice C shape with your back. Straighten out. Pull your shoulders back and down and press your chest out and arch all the way down your back. Lovely. Then we're going to come up to standing. So we're going to do a quick calf stretch. Make sure the calves are going to respond when you put your weight on your feet. So straighten your right leg and just push your heel towards the floor. Keep your weight on your arms, so you're not leaning back. I want you to feel that stretch in the back of your leg. Square your hips up. And then same on the left. So you're just going from side to side. All I want you to feel is a stretch in your calf and maybe under your foot. And from side to side. Nice stretch for the lower legs. So when we do put our weight on our feet, then the lower legs are supple enough that we can keep the heels down when we stand up. Okay, then bring your hands in front of your knees. Push down on the arms again so you can take the weight off your knees and walk back onto your feet. Bring your hands with you. Now, any osteoporosis, again, you're going to come up to standing and you're going to put your hands on your legs as you walk up to support your weight. The rest of you are going to stay down a second or two. So bum in the air, crown of head down, so you're looking back between your legs. And breathe deep again. Soften your knees if you want to, so you don't feel tight in the back of the legs. Breathe. Let your body go heavy. Okay, make sure the weight is evenly distributed along your feet and slowly come up. You can walk your hands up your legs if you want to for support, otherwise use your back muscles to pull you up. Slowly up, building yourself up like you're building a wall. Once you're up, roll your shoulders back and down and give them a few rolls. Good. Okay, wiggle your toes, wake your feet up. Do a little bit of standing up work, so just wiggle your toes. You need to look at your toes. I don't know why we have to look at our toes, we know where they are, but we seem to need to. And then just gently rock on your feet. I'm not going to come up high because I've still got my foot injury, so you're just going to maybe come up higher than I am. But I just want you to feel your lower leg muscles now responding to that shift in your weight. They're just contracting and stretching to balance you as you roll through your feet. Zip up. Now I want you to imagine we're up to our chin in water again. We need to engage our back muscles and our front and hold ourselves up. If we slouch, we're going under. Yeah. Working the lower leg muscles, really key for balance. Okay, bit of squatting. You might want your feet a bit wider and toes pointing forward, arms out in front. So you're going to drive your arms back, squeezing your elbows together as they come back, and then you're going to use that motion to sit down. But I need you to keep your back muscles engaged. So when you sit down, you're not dropping your shoulders forward. Drive up with your arms, straighten your legs as you go, and a little back bend if you want to. And then come back. So when you sit down, I need you to still keep your back muscles engaged. So you've got a forward look without straining your neck. Pull yourself up. Use your legs. Sit down. Whoops, she says falling backwards. Drive up. Okay, this time I want you to come down. I want you to stay down but have your arms out in front. Relax your shoulders and you'll probably find you can sit a bit lower now. Those arms help. So reach forward with your arms. Sit back with your hips. Sit a little bit lower. Can you feel the leg muscles working? Yes. Now pull yourself up. Well done. Give your legs a quick shake. Little bit of side work to finish. Side of the bodies. Roll the shoulders down. Float the arms up. About shoulder distance apart. Drop the shoulders. Tailbone points down at the floor. Waist muscles are squeezed in. And you're going to just sway gently. Again, not a big move because I just want you to feel the contraction and stretch at the side of the waist as you move your weight from side to side. So those muscles are switching on, contracting and stretching as they need to balance you. Then you can start to go a little bit further. Squeeze the centre to stop your tailbone drifting back. It needs to point down. Okay, next time when you go over, your top arm, this one, is going to reach out a little bit further. Press down into your foot so you're getting more of an arch, more of a curve in your back. And then come back. Again, zip up, keep the tailbone pointing down. Go over, top hand is going to reach out a little bit further, foot is going to push into the floor. And back, stand back a bit. My hands might be disappearing off the screen. So over, reach with that top arm, really stretch out, press down into your foot. And come back, just relax the neck and the shoulders. Last one, reach over, top hand reaches a bit further and foot pushes into the floor. Lovely, come back, bring the arms down, roll the shoulders back. Good. Give yourself a nice hug, you've earned it. Hug, breathe into your back and open out like a flower. Shoulders back and down, chest lifts. And again, give yourself a hug, bend your knees a little bit, sit into a little squat. Stretch your lower back, breathe, and then open, push into your feet, straighten your legs, reach your head for the ceiling, pull your arms back. We'll do one more then to finish. I promise this will be the finish. Curl in, breathe, press down into your feet, reach, let that back grow. Open out. Good. Well done. That's going to be my last recorded class this year because I'm going to have a bit of a break for Christmas. So I hope you've enjoyed the classes. If you do want to do some classes over Christmas, don't forget they're all there on my website. Just go and help yourself. Pick a different one. You'll know it's a different one because I'll be wearing different leggings. Have a good Christmas, everybody, and hopefully next year we will get back to our normal classes. Bye bye.